an entire spa full of women unite to give my date the most painful lesson of his life. The check barely hit our table before Chris destroyed 2.5 hours of decent chemistry with 4 words. "I have a daughter," he said while signing the receipt like he was mentioning the weather, then added, "She's 4, you'll love her," while my freshly manicured nails dug into my palm because this man had literally read my profile stating no kids was non-negotiable. When I asked if he'd seen that part, he actually smiled and said, "Yeah, but I figured once you got to know me, you'd see what a great guy I am and realize it doesn't matter." And I was about to just walk away from another waste of a Saturday morning when my phone buzzed with a notification from Svetlana asking if I was still coming for my Brazilian appointment. I stared at that text while Chris rambled about how his ex was crazy and how I seemed different from other girls, and suddenly an idea formed that was either genius or insane, but definitely better than just letting him win. "Actually, you know what would be super attractive?" I said, putting my hand on his while typing back to Svetlana with my other hand under the table. "Make that appointment for 2. I'll fill you in when I get there." Chris leaned forward eagerly while I continued with my sweetest voice. "I love when men are waxed down there. It shows confidence, and honestly, it's such a turn on. And I actually have an appointment right now at this amazing European spa if you want to come with me, and we could both get it done together." His eyes lit up like I'd just promised him the world on a silver platter, and 20 minutes later we were walking into the spa where Svetlana took one look at my face and immediately knew something was up. While Chris filled out paperwork at reception, I practically dragged her into the back room and spilled everything. The breakfast disaster, 2.5 hours of him mansplaining CrossFit and fantasy football, calling his ex psycho 3 times, then dropping the daughter bomb after the check like my boundaries were just mild suggestions. Svetlana's accent got thicker with pure rage while she grabbed Maria from the facial room, and suddenly we had a whole squad assembled with the receptionist literally abandoning her post and 2 clients in their fluffy robes joining our emergency huddle. "So he just violates boundaries for fun? Thinks he knows what you want better than you do?" one of them asked, and when I nodded, the group immediately went into planning mode. "We use the hard wax, the brutal European kind that takes everything," Svetlana announced while Maria added, "No numbing spray, no mercy pulls, and we're doing the full treatment including what we call the danger zone." The receptionist was already at her computer adding charges. Premium service, first-timer fee, special handling, literally everything I can justify. And then Linda, our waxing veteran of 20 years, dropped the bomb that made everyone gasp. "Girls, this place does piercings too, and Boris is working today." The energy in that room went absolutely electric while they coached me on the plan, and one client grabbed my shoulders saying, "When he starts crying, and babe he will cry, you drop that Prince Albert story about your ex and how it was life-changing." We could hear Chris asking nervous questions at the front desk about timing, and everyone scattered to their battle stations while Svetlana emerged looking at him like a predator who just spotted lunch. She led him to room 3 with the paper-thin walls while I held his hand through the curtain like the supportive queen he thought I was. And the first strip brought dead silence, the second a sharp gasp, but by the third he was making sounds like a dying whale attempting opera. When Svetlana hit what she called the danger zone, his pitch went so high that every dog in a 5-mile radius probably started howling, and that's when I dropped my ace. You know, my ex had this Prince Albert piercing right through the tip, and honestly the way it felt was absolutely life-changing, like nothing I've ever experienced before or since. Through literal tears and whimpers, this man, this lying, boundary-stomping waste of my Saturday, actually asked, "You think I should get one?" I squeezed his hand and let out a little sigh for the drama. "Only if you want to absolutely destroy me, and Boris does them right here. He's literally the best in the city." When Svetlana finished and he could barely walk, I checked my phone with Oscar-worthy surprise. "Oh my god, my sister just went into labor. I have to go to the hospital right now." I kissed his cheek while he stood there freshly waxed and bow-legged, then whispered, "But you should totally get the piercing since you're already here being so brave, and I'll call you tonight to see how it went," knowing full well I would never answer. The last thing I heard was Boris greeting him in a thick Russian accent while the receptionist charged him for the premium package, and the entire salon erupted in silent high-fives behind the closed door. 8 days of desperate texts documented his regret. "I did it. Can't wait to show you." Became, "Hello? Please respond." Then, "I think it's infected," with a photo that definitely needed medical intervention. Chris paid $85 for the Brazilian, $200 for the piercing, probably $1,000 in antibiotics, and got a permanent reminder that lying about deal breakers has consequences. Sometimes I wonder if he tells women the truth about that piercing, and I hope he has to explain forever how he got it for a girl whose last name he never even knew.